Hi everyone, this is Sally Harris, and today I want to talk to you about basically some ground rules on if your adult child is still living at home. I know this is a topic that a lot of moms reach out to me about because when you have an adult child living at home, either they have never moved out or maybe they moved out and came back home. I know that that can be tricky, right? So for those of you that are new here, this channel exists because I'm a firm believer that every mom deserves a support system during this time, which is why I do offer one-on-one and group coaching and different workshops to help kind of guide you through this process that you're going through. So let's get started. So these are I'm going to name a couple questions. I've got 4 topics here around the ground rules, kind of like what does that look like if your adult child is living at home? It's very different than having a young teen, right? So where you have the full control. So number 1 question that I get a lot is when a parent tries to enforce something, the child responds, well, I'm an adult. You can't tell me what to do. Well, therefore, like I say to many of you, in the United States, the magic number is 18, right? Well, we all know that nobody's completely mature at the age of 18. Some kids function just fine. Most don't at that young age. And it's really where they can legally make their own decisions, but yet they don't act like an adult, but yet they still expect you to, many times, to continue to take care of them. So one thing I would encourage you to do is to think about, thinking about where your rights are, it's your home, versus their rights because they're living there, just because they're your son or daughter. But would you let anyone else treat you that way? So if there's disrespect, you can't tell me what to do, I'm an adult. Well, I guess, a lot of times, it was recommended to me many years back, and I had never forgotten this, is someone said, when you think about your daughter and the situation and you're going to talk to your daughter, talk to her and love her as if she was your best friend's daughter. In other words, you care, you have empathy, right? But you try to remove the emotional piece. And so really being able to think of your child living in your home as a guest versus your child, right? As far as the function day-to-day kind of stuff. Number 2 is when your adult son or daughter doesn't want to find a job or follow the rules or go to class or any of that kind of stuff. A lot of moms will say, well, you'd think that they would just move out because, they're mad all the time because I'm telling them to do things. The main reason I can tell you right away, the main reason they're not moving out is because they're comfortable, right? You have met all their needs and probably then some, and they have no reason to get out of their comfort zone. Starting out when you're 18 or maybe you're 25 and just trying to launch. It can be scary. Life is scary, right? But they're going to need to struggle a little bit on their own, right? We all struggled. I don't know if you didn't struggle, you let me know. That's just something that happens to all of us in different areas of our life. So really letting yourself know that, you know what, I need to stop enabling and I need to let them struggle a little bit. And they need to maybe not have all the things that you're giving them. Because their needs are being met, and the flip side is that it's scary out there and maybe they don't want to admit that. Number 3 is if your child is dealing with anxiety and depression. Someone said, I just can't put him out on the street. He's not capable of living alone. And that's a really scary place to be in. But there is something to be said for, maybe they can't live independently. Maybe they are going to need some additional help. But you can still hold them accountable while they're living in your home. You can hold them accountable for those whatever ground rules, house rules that you and your spouse come up with. I find that it's even more difficult sometimes for single moms because they're being taken advantage of many times. But then again, and at the same token, when you're married and your spouse and you are not on the same page, that can be super difficult as well. But just know that you don't have to put up with abusive behavior just because your child has anxiety, depression, or anything else. They still don't have the right to abuse you, right? Sure, there's going to be more challenges, but they have to, if they want to live in your home, they have to be willing to do the work, just to be a functional member of society and within your own home. And lastly, number 4 is around you and your spouse not being on the same page, which I hear about a lot as well. Like I said, the best advice really is knowing that if you and your spouse have always been at opposite ends of everything, this is probably going to be no different. But if you could find 1 or 2 small things that you two can agree upon, because what we really need to show your adult son or daughter is that you have a united front. What you guys talk about behind closed doors, that's one thing. But when you confront your child, you really need a united front, because then that's where the manipulation comes in, is when your son or daughter knows, like, ooh, I can get to mom or I can get to dad, because which one's the weak link, right? And they're not on the same page, so I'll just manipulate one or the other. Happens all the time. But if you can have this united front and come forward with just a few small things that you can agree upon about the house rules, that is going to make a big difference. And it's going to even be a catalyst for change for your son or daughter, because they're going to realize that maybe they're not going to come in between you two anymore. So those are some 4 tips on those subjects. But having your adult child live at home is a whole different ballgame. And many of you have younger kids too, and that brings up more challenges, and you want a safe and good environment for your younger kids. And so you really need to make some decisions and put some of these things into place. If you need any help with this, you know where to find me. You can click the link below and book a discovery call, and we can discuss, and I can let you know how I might be able to help. But until then, I will talk to you soon. Thanks.